Hello everyone, today I'm going to be showing you my cabin, which I briefly showed in my last video, my update video. And first just let me explain what I was trying to kind of create when I decided to try and build a cabin. It's just a rough cabin, nothing spectacular. It's small, very small, it's a 6x8. And I had used dead wood because it takes a lot of logs. Especially since I was using traditional tools like a buck saw and my tomahawk. I couldn't cut, really big trees, and so it took a lot more logs than, say, if you were building one with larger diameter trees. So I had to make it completely out of dead wood because it takes too many live trees for, the amount of woods that we have to make this. And took me about a week and a half to get the walls up. And then for probably about a month, I've just been like chinking it, putting the door on, putting the latch on, building the chimney, and all kinds of things of that nature, starting to put the roof on. So it's been a lot of work with traditional tools especially, and this is only a small one. I can't imagine how much work it takes to build a big log cabin because there's so much sawing and chopping involved. But I'll switch the camera around and I'll walk you through the cabin, show you everything that there is. And basically this is just going to be a fun kind of project, kind of a base camp for a lot of my woods running activities that I like to do, and kind of my own house almost. So I'll get the camera around and we'll walk through it. Okay, so this is the view from the front of the cabin, as you saw in the beginning of the video. And you can just make out a slight slant on the cabin roof, as you see, because the cabin is slightly slanted downward because the ground has a little tiny bit of an incline. Hardly anything, you can't hardly even notice it. Definitely nothing that's going to endanger the sturdiness of the cabin. But I just want to point that out so you see this isn't really anything spectacular. But this is my door here. We'll look at the latch in a little bit once we go on the inside of the cabin. But that's just flat, kind of flat wood door. This is the upper part of the cabin. This is where the wind's going to be hitting it the most. And again, I had used all dead wood, so it's not prime cabin building material. A lot of it was crooked. So I had to do a lot more chinking than I thought I was going to, but that's okay. It's a good, pretty good sturdy wall still. And up here's my roof. We'll look at that in a little bit. But that's the roof of the cabin. And back here I have basically an additional roof. It's almost like a little lean-to that I've added onto the back of the cabin. And what this is hopefully it's going to be a blacksmith shop. And I'm going to close this in on two sides with these vertical logs. And I really don't know too much about 18th century blacksmith shops and how they're made. A lot of the ones that I've seen that were historical representations of 18th century blacksmith shops were not chinked. And I believe that's because they will get too hot. I have no idea. But I'm just going to close it in with these vertical logs right around here and down the back, and have the open front or open side right here. This is the back of the cabin. It's all chinked. I used mud and straw to chink it. That's usually what was used. Another great thing would be sod or moss. The great thing about sod and moss is that you already have that the roots and basically the grass kind of mixed in to your dirt. So you can kind of skip that whole process of mixing the mud with the straw, which I really like. I didn't get to do that because my mom wouldn't let me dig up the front lawn to get sod, obviously. So I had to mix all the mud and the straw together first. This is the lower side of the cabin, and this is where I have my chimney. And this is a wooden chimney. And I know everyone always says, well, isn't it just going to burn right down? Well, it will, but that's why you have to chink it a lot. And I've only chinked the outside so far. And this is what it looks like from the outside. It gets wide at the base. It's wide at the base, and then it slowly tapers towards the top where it's skinny. And I really don't know a lot about chimneys. And I know everyone's going to say, why don't you just build a stone chimney? And that's because most of the 18th century chimneys that I've seen were wood. And these were actually used way up into the late 1800s. If you read Laura Ingalls Wilder's book, Little House on the Prairie, they actually built a chimney like this out on the prairie. And they had a chimney fire, which were common things in the 18th century. But I had to go with something that I could make and something I knew a little bit about. And again, I don't know anything about stone chimneys. I don't know when they were introduced, when they became popular. So please comment below if you know, because I know there's a lot of people that have built log cabins who are watching. But that's my chimney from the outside. Let's go inside. Okay, so we're inside. As you can see, I still have some additional chinking to do. Like I said before, the mud will shrink, so you get these little cracks. And it's kind of frustrating because you spend a lot of time doing it and then cracks open wide up. But that's what you gotta do. But here's the latch. What I have is a Y stick right here, just where the tree's broken into a Y. And I've nailed that to my doorway. And I have a latch here, which has a wooden pin coming through the door. It's stuck on the outside because it's wider on that end. And it comes through, and I have basically my latch here, and that's stuck onto that wooden peg coming through the door. And then I have a small stick run through a hole in that peg so that this won't come off. And then I have a little thumb peg that's just shoved into a hole in my latch. And when you open it, that's how you open it. Just pull it right up out of the Y and it opens. So how you open it from the outside is you just have a string pulled through a hole in the door here, and it's connected to that thumb piece. So when you're outside, you just pull up on that string and it will pop open. And it holds pretty good. When you don't want someone to come into your cabin, you simply pull the string in. Now they can't open the door from the outside without force. So that's a good 18th century style latch that I use. Over here you have the fire pit from the inside. As you can see, that's my chimney out there. It's a small fire pit for a small cabin. I'm going to have to chink the whole inside of this, completely cake it with mud so that I don't burn my cabin down. But here I've left a room for the air to come in, because you need some sort of air coming in from either side or the back to force the smoke up the chimney. You need a draft coming in, and that's why I left the sides open. I'm probably going to close up this side because the wind's blowing from this way and it would probably cause a better draft, but that's probably what I'm going to do with that. Again, this cabin is not finished yet completely. I still have a lot of work to do on it, but that's where I've gotten so far. The roof is made of, I have slab wood across, and then I'm going to I have straw up there, and then I hope to cover it with mud, dirt. So I'm going to have a soddy is what it's called. Let me get up here real quick. You see I have some straw up here, and down in the blacksmith shop I have some pine boughs, and I'm going to cover this whole thing with dirt. And already this is pretty waterproof, but I just got to finish it up with some dirt, and it should be pretty good. As you can see, it's starting to come down with some rain right now. So that's just a brief overview of my cabin that I built over about a month so far, working on it on and off, and I'm really excited about using it this summer for kind of a Woods Runner base camp. So thank you all very much for watching. I'll have more information on my cabin later on when it's done and stuff, but please comment below with things about the stone chimney. Again, I don't know too much, really any of the specifics about log cabins. I kind of just look at pictures and read a little bit about them. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.